How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the Scoring from the 50 podcast. This weekend, we got a huge SEC game in LSU and Alabama. This doesn't have huge implications for LSU. Their season's kind of over, right? But Alabama, this is a huge game. Okay, this is a huge game for Alabama. They have to be able to, they have some room, right? They have some room to be able to lose a game and still make the playoff. But if they want to win the SEC, this is a must win. Must win. Why would this game be close? Okay, Alabama, they've been by far the better team than LSU this year. By far, right? I mean, LSU, they just fired their coach, man. They haven't played a game without Brian Kelly this year. This is their first game without him. Why would this game be close? LSU had such higher expectations on how their season's going. You know, you watch any given Saturday, and Weeks is telling Garrett Nussmeier, you know, if you come back, man, we're winning the Natty. Like, blah, blah. They're already at 3 losses. They're not anywhere near where they thought they would be before the season. So why would this game be close? Okay, LSU's response. I think there's a lot of guys in that building that did not like Brian Kelly, that did not really want to play for him, that wouldn't go over the cliff for him. They would do that for their new head coach. They would do that. They love their new interim head coach. I think that you're going to see LSU come out with their hair on fire because they want to prove they're like, yeah, man, it was Brian Kelly's issue. Like, we don't like that guy. He's out of the building. He was the problem. We're going to go prove to the country that that was the issue, not us. Also, LSU's talent roster. They have a 71% blue chip ratio, which is 4th in the country. Okay, they have the talent to be able to go out and beat anybody in the country. Anybody. They have that kind of roster. Okay, that you can't just sleep on them just because they've had a bad season. It's kind of like Florida, you know. Florida's had a rough season, but Florida has a really good roster, but LSU has a better roster than Florida. LSU can still go out and beat anybody in the country. They have that kind of talent. Now, the question I have, if you're Alabama, your run game has not been good all season. Not been good all season. Jam Miller has been struggling. Their offensive line has been struggling to run the ball. They've been great in pass protection. The passing game for Alabama has been what's winning the games because even if they can't run the ball, they can throw it to any one of their guys. They have been great. But on the ground, Alabama struggled, which so is LSU, okay? So Alabama has 3.6 yards per carry, and shockingly, LSU has run the ball better than Alabama with 3.8 yards per carry. Alabama has 951 rushing yards this year. LSU is 850, so about 100 less, but they average 0.2 more yards per carry, which isn't much. But LSU has been running the ball a little bit better than Alabama. LSU's defense needs to get a lot better. They gave up 31 to Vanderbilt, and then they gave up 49 to Texas A&M. What happened to that defense? Their defense was what was winning them games early in the season, right? They beat Clemson because of their defense. They beat Clemson because of their defense, right? Their defense has been carrying them to wins, and I don't know what happened, but they are no longer doing that. I think it might be Weeks has been hurt a little bit. I think that might be a huge issue. But what happened? You got to get back to what you were earlier in the season for LSU, okay? Both teams are off of a bye, so there's no scheduling advantage here. But both teams really, really struggled in their last game, okay? Alabama barely escaped against South Carolina, which in my opinion, that was a game that I expected to go that way. I didn't think that game was going to go differently because Alabama had just had this really long stretch of ranked huge matchups. And then they go play USC, who is good. They have a good roster, but they've struggled all season, right? That's a game that you overlook. That's a game that you're thinking, okay, we beat all the good teams. We beat the teams we were supposed to beat. Now we just got to go play South Carolina, and then we got the bye week. Like, man, we get the bye week, we can go get healthy, and then we can prepare for LSU, right? You overlooked that USC game. You overlooked the South Carolina game because you want to get to the bye week. You want to go get healthy, and you just beat all these really good teams. You kind of forget, oh, yeah, we still have to go play South Carolina. So I understand why that game went the way that it did. Doesn't make it okay at all. They should have beat them by a lot more. But I wasn't shocked by that. That was a game going into it that I was thinking, you know, just get through that game. Just go win the game, which they barely did. They arguably should not have won that game. They were not the better team for 3/4 of that game. But they got the job done. They took care of business. They beat South Carolina. and now they're okay. I think you're going to see more back to the mean of what Alabama was before that game, because Alabama has been the best team in the country, in my opinion. I think beating all those teams that they did was the most impressive thing that anyone has done in the country so far. So I think that Alabama would probably be my number one team right now. Maybe not in a rankings point of view, but like from a power ratings, like I think that Alabama would be everybody in the country right now. Not saying that they deserve to be ranked number one because, you got undefeated Ohio State, undefeated Texas A&M, undefeated Indiana. Those all deserve to be ranked higher than them because of that loss to Florida State. But if there's one team that I don't want to play right now, it's Alabama, just because of how they took care of business against every single one of those highly ranked teams. So I think you're going to see more of the mean, go back to the average of what they have been this season. And I think that they're going to take care of business against LSU, okay? How does LSU stop Alabama's receivers? I just don't see that happening. The secondary has kind of been struggling a lot. It feels like even whenever Alabama's top guys, like a Yermy Bernard or Ryan Williams, has drops issues, Ryan Williams' drops has been hideous all season, okay? That has been a huge problem for him. Even if those two don't show up, it feels like they always have a guy that shows up whenever they don't, right? Like, obviously, most of the time you can rely, especially on Yermy Bernard. He's been really, really good all season. Ryan Williams' drops have been iffy, so whenever Ryan Williams' drops have happened, someone has shown up in his spot, right? I think you're going to see that again here against LSU. Even if those top two guys struggle, someone is going to step up in their place, and I think that they should be okay. I think that Alabama's receivers, if LSU's DBs can take care of business against Alabama and they can actually shut down those receivers and not let some rando pop up and be really good, then LSU will have a huge shot to win this game. And I think that they do have a good shot to win this game. I don't think they're going to. I think it'll be a really close game. I cannot wait to watch this game. It's going to be huge. I think LSU is going to make this close. I think they're going to play like a team who just fired their head coach, and now they're like, okay, we got that guy out of the building. Now we can go play our football. We can go be Louisiana Tigers. Okay, we can go do what LSU does. But I think Alabama's talent, and especially Ty Simpson with how good he has been, I think he's been at a Heisman level all season. I think he's a top 10 pick at this point. Ty Simpson is going to be able to make a throw late in the game and win Alabama this football game.